This episode of New Jersey Living is being recorded in Union, New Jersey, not to be confused with Union City and not to be confused with Union Township. This is another situation where you have towns with very similar names. There's 3 of them in New Jersey, and we're currently in Union County. So you have a Union, Township of Union, where we are right now, in the County of Union, and it can be a little confusing if you're not local and you see these unions keep popping up because they're in different counties, very much different type of communities altogether. So where I am right now, I am at the far eastern edge of town. I'm going to flash up 2 maps really quickly. First, I'm going to flash up the regional map of Union so you can kind of get an idea, proximity-wise, how close it is to New York City, where it lies in relationship to Newark, which is like a major landmark in terms of people recognizing on the map. So we're really neighboring just outside of Newark. Union borders right up against Hillside and Elizabeth, which both are really right there by Newark. Spread out there, I'll show you the local map. Local map, you can see that it's neighboring to a lot of places that we have covered already. So Cranford, Springfield, Maplewood. So Union is right there, neighboring right up in Millburn, right up against some of these communities. Where I stand right now, I'm on the campus of Kean University. Kean University, I'm going to flash up just a little bit so you get a profile, all right, of one of the buildings here. Bookstores right there behind me. Pan around a little bit, you get a little bit of a taste of campus, a little sample. There has been just ongoing substantial development at Kean over the past decade, past several years, honestly. I've moved to New Jersey in 1999. Just learned about the university then, which was more of a commuter school at that point, but now it is really built up. There's a lot of more residential dorms here, and has continued to develop. Both STEM and business are really major programs here, so it offers great opportunities for a lot of local residents. My son was dual enrolled here as a senior in high school, so he really attended Kean as a senior in high school, which was a great opportunity for him before going to Seton Hall, which is part of my South Orange episode. So here, going to really dive into some of the details about Union. We have quite a few properties. I believe I have 7 altogether, so it's going to be a little bit of quick fire. There's going to be some road footage sprinkled in. Reason being, there's so many property tours in this particular episode, because normally those who watch, I cover usually 3 or 4. There have been 44 sales over the past 30 days here in Union. All right, and we are in December. It's a very windy but relatively, warmer day here on the eve of Christmas Eve. It's a Friday before Christmas Eve, which is why it's kind of quiet and barren out here. But a lot of activity, and reason being is some of the dynamics about Union. It's a very budget-friendly location, all right, and there is various dynamics that make it an attractive place to live, and we're going to dive into some of those as well in the next intro segment. But just want to give you a heads up that we're going to cover a good amount of properties. They're going to be relatively in quick succession, not a lot of time in each, but I want to give a good sample of what was amongst those 44. All right. So those who are returning, thank you again, Jersey Hunters, for joining back with me. Those who are new to the channel, welcome aboard. We'll get a little bit more into the channel in the next segment. Let's get over to our next location. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent with Prestige Properties here in New Jersey. And my job is to bring content like this to viewers like you. So if you are looking to learn all things about New Jersey, primarily real estate market, but also iconic locations, places to dine, social scenes, this is the channel for you. As I mentioned, I'm here in Union Township of Union, I should say, because it can be a little confusing, as I said before, because it's not the only Union in New Jersey. We are covering quite a few properties today. Those who are coming back to the channel, welcome again. Those who are new, give you a little backdrop on what we do here at the channel. First of all, please do click like, subscribe, and the notification bell. We have episodes coming out weekly to provide this kind of content, footage, insights on all of the primarily suburbs to New York City in northern and central New Jersey. All right, so we cover the most recent property sales on the market over the past 30 days, and we also discuss the dynamics that create the greatest demand of a given location throughout New Jersey. The three factors, which we're going to jump into right now, are called the big three. Those factors take into three things. One, proximity. I flashed up the maps already, so you already know, proximity-wise, we are very, very close to New York City. So being in the county here, the location of where we are in Union County, Union has Route 22 that runs directly through it, the Garden State that runs through it, 78 that runs through it. All of those roadways provide very convenient access to New York City. The Turnpike is very, very close to where we are, which is another way to get into New York City. So from a driving standpoint, you are easily in New York City on a good traffic day in about 35 minutes. So absolutely a check for proximity. Train station, I'm going to flash up a couple of photographs I just took at the station, which is literally around the corner from where I stand right now. 5 minutes I'm on the platform in terms of walking. So we're right here. Check mark for train station. And then the third factor are schools. I'm going to flash up school ratings. You'll see niche.com. I don't introduce my own subjective opinions. I go to niche for that rating. It is a B, and those who have watched, you know I reserve a check mark for the school districts that have the A rating on niche.com. So we'll not get the check there, but 2 out of the 3 gives a very, very solid rating for the community. If you scroll down niche a little bit, you'll see general community ratings. So niche is a good place to go to learn all things there are, to learn about for a given location, wherever it is in the country, really. So you'll see that the township itself is like A rated. It's like an A minus. So there is a level of demand here, and obviously if 44 homes have sold over the past month, yeah, there's certainly people looking to buy. Where we are right now, I had to step up onto the platform here. I'm just outside of Barnes and Nobles, so they have the little cafe area right here. Pan around a little bit, you can see there are the luxury apartments by Vermella, which you've seen that before if you've seen some of my other episodes, which would include the Harrison episode. These luxury apartments pop up wherever there is some type of convenient transit into the city. And this is located right by the university and also the train station. Tons of development. We're at the corner of both Green Lane and Morris Ave. Morris Ave is another major thoroughfare that cuts through town. Lots of retail, lots of commercial. So Union is a place that has very convenient shopping locations. Absolutely has the tax base from commercial, that is, to help offset property taxes as well. So this is very much a developed area that's just continuing to develop, in part because of the university, in part because of the train station. So the homes we're going to take a look at all are in relative close proximity of where I am now. All right, so we have quite a few to jump into, so I want to kind of condense them all into one kind of little area here together. So the first stop we're going to take is going to be actually around the corner, a few townhomes that have sold recently. So let's take a jump over there. I'll see you at the first stop. Here we are at our first stop, and this is a relatively small section of townhomes just outside of the university itself. If I pan around, the university's baseball stadium field is directly behind me. As I pan back this direction, it is the parking lot for the train station. And that's the location where I came from, where you have the Barnes & Noble and a lot of the administrative buildings for the university. So this is very conveniently located to hop directly on the train, literally come out your door, 3 minutes, you're on the platform. 2 units sold here in the past 30 days, 788 and 706. I'll start with 706. It was basically priced at 470, at 469, 900, and sold basically at 485, 484, 900. 3 weeks on the market. All of these units, pretty much same layout, same type of bedroom bath dynamic, 3 bedroom, 3.5 bath with a 2-car garage in the back. So there is parking. Square footage, very impressive. All are over, well over 2,000 square feet. I want to say they're roughly probably about maybe about 2,400 square feet. So the size is really good on these. That unit, again, 3 weeks. The other unit was listed at $495, sold at $505. In that case, you had a bit more in terms of upgrades. So depending on if there's carpet in bedrooms, for example, or if there's hardwood floors. If the kitchen has had any kind of upgrade, or if it's more the original kitchen. Those are some of the dynamics that make the difference in price point. But these units have, again, going back to that COVID trend of how prices really started to escalate. They were at one point, maybe just 3 years ago, hovering right around that high 3 to low 4 range, and now we're talking about 5s for this given location. So the convenience factor is there. Solid rental location as well, because again, it's just the convenience of the train. So these are the first 2 of the 7 that we're going to feature, so we just kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. But again, the key is 3 weeks on the market for each of these in this market right now, where we're very much in a high interest rate environment. So our next stop, we're going to head directly to the adjacent neighborhood and have another 5 quick stops there. See you there. Here we are at our first residential stop outside of townhomes, that is. We're at 958 Lehigh. And this is a 3-bed, bath and a half that sold at $420. It was listed, I want to say $446.9. Sold at $420. And this is a situation where it was on market for roughly about 2 months before selling. So like a lot of properties, as I mentioned some other episodes, that don't have the more recent new upgrades, they do take a little longer to move, but this one's still relatively moved, and not a bad time frame considering the interest rate environment that we're in right now. Just to pan Lehigh is get a feel for the road. Lehigh is off of Morris Ave, which is the main road, cutting kind of east-west through Union. And you may be able to hear in the background, you hear a train. So the train station is the next block over. So I'd say a pretty convenient walk. Maybe about, from where I'm standing right now, probably about 10 to 12 minutes to get around to the train station. This road will be frequented, pretty often. But as we work our way a little further into the next few homes, you're going to notice it's a bit more quieter streets in some of these other locations. But part of the appeal for Union is it really offers a full range of price ranges in terms of budgets, where you can affordably get into a really decent sized home in your high 300s all the way up into high 400s. When you get above that, of course, you're talking even more property, which we're going to see a couple of those options in this tour today. But affordability is one factor. Union historically has been one of those solid working middle-class communities, so there's not necessarily a large high-end market where you find a lot of million dollar plus homes, but it's not a area that has really any significant depressed area either, where you find a lot of distressed properties and neighborhoods and things like that. You don't find that either. So with schools that are relatively solid and really comfortable neighborhoods, Union and commutability is really a high rated factor for the location. Is really an attractive option for buyers to come to find something that at a modest budget. So we're going to skip on to the next few. I'm going to sprinkle in some road footage along the way. We're going to be very close proximity for a lot of these. So you may not see as much road footage as in some other episodes, but we're going to have some road footage along the way. I'll see you at the next stop. Stop here is at 952 Potter Ave. As you can see behind me, this is a ranch that was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, listed at $499, sold at $470. Another case of almost 2 months on the market. And this is another scenario where you have a home that's not newly renovated, does again go under ask. So we're seeing more of that element. Remember, I've been saying this over the past couple of episodes, well, several episodes at this point, that if you don't have a really newly upgraded, newly renovated, or recently upgraded property, they tend to have more negotiating room with those transactions. So like we saw in Lehigh, this is another scenario where there's not recent renovations or upgrades. It does go below ask, but you know, it's not like it's a 5% drop, in price point and something like that, right? So if you do the math, and it's sold roughly at about $499 to $470, that's roughly 30. So we're still talking, from a percentage standpoint, what if we 10% would be 40,000 off? So yeah, I would say slightly under 10 in this case, right? So just given, again, that kind of perspective to have when you're shopping in this market, at least in this market, that if you have something that's not newly renovated, there's some room to negotiate, and that does depend on community as well. Higher demand communities, there tends to be a little less margin for negotiation because there's still a little bit more competition. But here you can say it is a ranch. It was certainly, from the exterior anyway, it maintained well, but just nothing new. I'm going to pan around a little bit. This is a dead-end street, and if you look at the homes that are around us, everything is pretty much a ranch or a cape, or in the case of a couple of homes down there to the backside of me now, to the right side of this home, a couple of bi-levels. All right, so these are all pretty much consistent with this given street, but as we start to work our way a little further in the other direction, because we're starting to work our way away from the train station right now, you'll see a few more colonials in the mix as we continue this search on. So another case where you can get something mid-400s, 2.5 bath in this scenario, and then you have some basement space to work with as well. All right, so keep in mind the affordability factor, because if you look at some of my other episodes in some communities that do have that higher demand, such as a Short Hills, I'm talking neighboring to Union, Short Hills, Maplewood, Springfield, okay, Cranford. All right, some of these locations, your same type of home is going to certainly be at a higher price point because of the demand in those locations, because we're talking about A-rated schools there. All right, so here you're still going to get a bargain, and these are like schools that you don't have to be afraid, to send your kid to school, or by any means have any real degree of worry. So all depends on preference, of course. Everyone has their own expectation and preference and what type of school setting that they prefer. All right, so we're going to continue to work our way again a little further. We're just another block away from the train station, still very walkable where we are here, probably about 15 to 20, in a comfortable walk from here. But going to work our way the other directions to see some other homes. See you there. We're now in front of 401 Huguenot, and this is the case for when you have new renovation and upgrade. All right, so this listing featured new. So floors, bathroom, kitchen, AC system. You can even probably see a little bit, I'll pan up a little, some of that upgraded touch on the exterior as well. So this, because of all of that, was on the market for 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks in this market, right? 2 weeks. Listed and sold at $725, 5-bedroom, 4 full baths. All right, so and the taxes are at $12,000. So for a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home that is a colonial, that $12,000 in tax is a very friendly number. I'm going to pan around, so you're going to see, as I mentioned a little earlier, as we get further into the neighborhood, you're going to see more variation with home styles. So we see splits, we see Tudors, we see colonials, and very kind of colonials. So this is the type of neighborhood that's hard not to love. All right, so nice quiet side street. You're tucked away in the neighborhood. The elementary school is locally tucked right here. You're not far from the middle school as well. Nice, just lovely neighborhood. You're not having like extremely huge yard space per se, so you can see as I pan again, the homes are relatively close to each other, but that is indicative of where we are in New Jersey. We're relatively close to Newark and to New York City, which you tend to have tighter spaces in a lot of those communities. So yeah, this is a price point where you compare what you get at $725, your low 700s, going back to what I mentioned a little earlier in some of the neighboring towns, say in Milburn or Maplewood or South Orange. It's night and day different. Okay, so again, this is a very can't say enough for Union in terms of being a solid location. If you're looking to be that first-time buyer, or if you're looking for a place that can be a nice quiet place and you really are not concerned about where do I send my kids to school because you're not at that place in life, this is a great community to consider. And even if you do have kids, I wouldn't speak against it if you do have school-age kids, because I emphasize again, a B rating is not a bad thing at all. New Jersey schools, you've seen me mention this in some of my other episodes. If you pull up the rankings of the state of New Jersey when it comes to public education, the state is consistently ranked 1 or 2. All right, so it seemed like to be a back and forth between Massachusetts and New Jersey. Public education standards are extremely high here in the state of New Jersey. So a B rating if you're coming from out of state, if you're coming out of New York, Pennsylvania, if you're coming from California, Florida, wherever you're coming from. All right, just do your homework. The schools are very good. Public schools are very good here. So your B rating is nothing to turn your nose up at if you see that in a place like Union. All right, so we're going to hop on 2 more viewings here, and I'll have some footage for this area as well. So see you at the next stop. To 422 Putnam as we are now nearing the end of our tour today. This is a very nice corner lot location. I'm gonna pan around a little bit. You'll get a feel for the neighborhood, and as I said before, as we get a little further away from the train station, these are very nice, quiet neighborhoods. Here you can see of course, this Tudor right here. Very well maintained, not new upgrade, but very well maintained. Priced really competitively at $425, right? So a $425 price point. You probably can't see too well right here, but not an extensive backyard by any means, because I can see the neighbor to the back, the driveway is like right there, not far from the property. So not a lot of yard space per se, but at $425, this was on the market for 1 week. All right, so bedroom and bath, flash that up really quickly. You'll see, and the taxes too. Taxes are $10,000, which is again not bad for a corner lot. You see some newer construction across the street, and I'll be taking a little more video footage in the area, road footage out there, so you'll see some of that as well. So this neighborhood right here is zoned for the Washington Elementary School, which is very attractive because Washington is the highest rated. Again, if you go to niche.com, you can always look up specific information on individual schools, but that's the A-rated school in the district on niche. So that is a highlight for this given neighborhood. All right, so we get to see a little taste of what 700 looks like, what 400 looks like, what a 500 townhouse looks like. So you're starting to get a feel for what those ranges can be. All right, so if you find an opportunity for something in the 300s, there's renovation options, and that's something that a lot of buyers don't consider first go around particularly, but I just emphasize if you are bargain hunting and if you want to be able to build in equity rather than pay premium for equity that someone already put in, consider renovation financing. All right, so this is where financing is done for you. You have contractors lined up. It's all bundled into the mortgage. So if you are shopping at, say, $550 and you consider, all right, I'm gonna consider a renovation option if I can find something at $350. It is worthwhile to do, particularly if you can find something in a community like this, because there are some homes right here in Union that are often priced around that mid-3, high 300 range in this general neighborhood that are just older, needs upgrades, haven't been upgraded, and can really build instant equity into an opportunity like that for a new buyer. All right, so we've got one more stop. Have a little more road footage coming your way. I'll see you there. Here, 18 Lancaster is our final stop. So we are pretty much looking at a good range of price points in granted one given neighborhood of Union, which we have a lot more geographic area to cover than this one section of town. But again, given the number of homes that sold in this given area, I wanted to kind of just focus here for this episode. Union's big enough to make a return episode, believe me. This is, Lancaster is very much kind of like a cul-de-sac, right? So you have, it comes and it kind of L's in a different direction down this way. So you get a lot of privacy back here, very quiet back here. This is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home. Original list price was at $925. They dropped to $879, I believe, and I believe the sale price, and if I get it wrong, you'll see a flash up here. I think it was $830 maybe. About a little over 2 months on the market. Upgrades were definitely here, but this is, if anything, reflective of being at the higher end of the price range in the community, as well as, you know, the reality of the market itself has slowed. All right, so this property in Maplewood, of course, would be a different ball game because the ranges go well above that 900 mark, like it was with the South Orange or Short Hills, you know, those kind of areas, Summit also. So, but for here, it took a little while longer. This has had recent upgrades, and 5-bedroom, 3 full bath is a sizable, very sizable home in a very quiet location. I'm just gonna pan around so you again get a good feel for the surrounding area. Nice brick front 2-car garage, and this is again, this is like your very, very comfortable neighborhood here in Union, that you can find something in the low 4s, because where we were, Putnam is just about maybe 2-3 blocks the other direction. So you can get low 4s all the way up to just right in that mid 800 range, same neighborhood. You've seen some of the road footage as well, so you can see there's some newer construction, some existing renovations underway right now. And then you have some older homes that are right around that post-war. So a lot of what you see in here, what we've seen in road footage, a lot of this is right around that late 40s, early 50s time frame in terms of construction. So this is you know, a little taste of Union. So if you want to get some more information and insights, my contact information is here in the details. So feel free to text or to call or to send me an email or to book me through Calendly. That's in my details as well. So all that information is available for you. I want to thank everybody again for joining. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell. We have more content coming your way. And we're right up on Christmas. This episode actually will be posted post-Christmas, but I wish everybody a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. New Jersey Living has more to do in the year to come. So continue to join us and stay safe until the next time.